Hey, what the hell's going on, you guys? It is Stupid Player Negative AE, and welcome back to another episode of Higurashi When They Cry. I'm going to try to talk closer to the mic today because I've been noticing in a lot of my videos, especially in that new vlog video where I've just kind of been talking like over here, which is cool because you guys can still hear me, but like I think it sounds better if I'm up close. I don't know, you guys tell me. So hopefully I can remember to keep my mouth closer to the mic than normal, but who knows what happens. Disposing of the corpse. I forget where we left off, but I'm sure I'll remember real soon where we are. Let's go. The ultimate way to not create a beginning was to not let the corpse be found. We're still on this. It was even more important than killing him. Thinking on it vaguely, the first thing that came to mind was the swamp. Onagafuchi, the dreadful bottomless swamp, revered even now, that appeared in the legends of Onagafuchi village. Yes, the swamp called Onagafuchi was here first. Then the village took its name to become Onagafuchi village. In other words, the swamp was the origin of Onagafuchi village. No one, no matter who it was, would float back to the surface of this bottomless swamp. Everyone would be swallowed down into the land of the demons below the earth. That was how the stories went. If I was trying to copy Oyashiro's curse, then I felt the theory demanded that I discard the remains and the weapon into the swamp. But they may have said it's bottomless, but I didn't actually know. People say large creatures like humans produce a lot of gas when they rot, granting a lot of buoyancy. It was why using fairly heavy objects to hold people down didn't work. Come to think of it, with the curse the year before the last, Rika-chan's mother drowned herself in this swamp. And the criminal behind the dismemberment that went missing the year of the first curse too, it was rumored that he tried to discard the body in the swamp and accidentally drowned in it. I never heard of the corpse coming back up or them finding it. Then shouldn't I choose to discard the corpse there too? Could discard the weapon there. And then, for example, if her uncle came out on a motorcycle intact, it would be a convenient way to get rid of the bike, because, well, I knew Satoko's uncle generally used a motorcycle for transportation, but as for the corpse, a lot of worrying. I decided not to discard the corpse in the swamp. The drowning, suicide, and accident were both rumors. Nobody knew if they'd actually happened. There were no lack of false rumors about the drowning suicide anyway, and it was possible the murderer hadn't drowned there and was still on the run. That meant that no one had ever confirmed a corpse being dropped in there and then not coming back up. Then, what would I do with the body? Thought it might be interesting to go with the first incident because I cut him into pieces and hide him. Jesus Christ. But the preparation and work for dismembering a human body would be difficult given the amount of time I had. Which meant that, with that out of the question, I arrived at the conclusion to go with the more orthodox method of burying the body. Where I would bury it was a question related to where I would kill him. Of course, I wanted to keep my time and proximity to the body at a minimum. With that in mind, I would want to dig the hole to dump the body in beforehand to make the location of the act and the hole close together. The choice of where I would plan the crime, that would need to be absolutely careful and thorough with. It had to be somewhere where nobody would witness it, and a place with hiding places for a sneak attack. I could dig a hole for the body right there. Go over the possibilities in my head of the various destinations her uncle would head to from Satoko's house. I imagined a map of the area in my head. Then I found a place that fulfilled those conditions so easily it was almost unbelievable. A bit of back road that went through the woods. So with this, can we confirm that we're in the Demon Club pretty much? I guess we don't know that anybody else is part of the Demon Club. It's kind of like we got a secret invitation to the Demon Club, but nobody in the Demon Club talks about Demon Club. I don't know. If he was going somewhere, he'd pass through the woods first. And nobody used this back way unless they had something to do at Satoko's house or one or two other places. This path was fantastically ideal, as few people used it. I would wait for him in these woods. Would an ambush actually be possible? I went into the trees and tried actually hiding myself in a few places. It was extremely quiet. My senses could be sharpened to their maximum amount. I didn't know when he'd come, but I'd wait right here for Satoko's uncle. I actually had some trouble coming to that decision. The question arose of whether I should somehow call the man out. Was there a risk I'd be taking by luring him there? That man made Satoko do all the shopping and errands. He seldom left on his own business. He wouldn't leave unless I worked out a plan to force him to, would he? That was the question. Tomorrow was the Watanagashi festival. Would he go out for the festival or would he stay inside? If he stayed inside, how would I drag him out of his house? That's right. Wouldn't he make Satoko go to the festival? Satoko would go to the festival. Meanwhile, I would call the man. This is the Okinomiya police station. We have the young lady from your house. Could you come and pick her up immediately? Didn't even have to be the police. Yeah, but you're leaving a trace at that point. At that point, you're leaving a trace with the phone call. Please come and pick her up. Yes, that would work too. I imagine even in whatever time this is, 19-something, 1980-something? 1983, I believe, if I'm correct. I believe they could still trace phone calls. Like, oh, this phone call came from somewhere else? Unless I'm wrong. Maybe I'm overestimating the technology they had back then. Maybe. He'd rush there trying to figure out what's going on, wouldn't he? And just the other day, he was visited by a probation officer. I'd say it's a pretty safe bet to call him, actually, now that I think about it. He wouldn't suddenly grumble about having to get his niece and not go. It would look like child neglect, and had no skills useful around the house. Satoko, his slave, was an essential part of his daily life. Conclusion. If he went out to the festival, I would attack him on his way there or back. If he didn't, I would lure him out by phone. If luring him out by phone was my first step, I needed to be sure Satoko would go to the festival leaving the house. It would be convenient if I make Mion take Satoko to the festival. She said her aunt was a district welfare officer. In other words, an ally to the probation officer. If I somehow incited Mion to take Satoko to the festival with her, well, being who she was, she'd use that fact to get her there. Satoko should just take a break and have fun at the festival. I feel like no matter what your family member is, if your family member dies, you're going to be sad about it. Even if they're, I don't know, maybe not. Maybe not. If my family member was like really abusive to me and like was hitting me, I'm trying to think. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. I think everybody's gonna get mad at Keishi for murdering this guy, and that's where this is going, and that's why I'm gonna get like killed at the end or something. We'll see. She should have a good time, reminisce on our formal peaceful days, and when she went home, everything would be over. Yeah, that would be the best outcome. With that decided, I need to dig a hole somewhere in the woods to hide the body. So it wouldn't stand out, so it wouldn't be found. Someplace nobody would see me while I was completely exposed as I buried the corpse. I had wanted it to be close to the seat of the crime, but it naturally grew farther away. Deep in the bosom of the Black Forest. The voices of the Higurashi were the only sounds here, informing me that people shouldn't indiscreetly set foot in this place. Digging a hole with so many tree roots crawling around on the ground would be far more difficult than I envisioned. I'd snuck a gardening spade out here in my bag, but that wouldn't be enough. I have ideas in my head that are just Whenever I go into silence like this, don't worry about it. It's just me trying to put things together in my head. I'd manage with that. And how big a hole would have to be to fit a humanoid into it. But we have to dig pretty deep down. If I was slipshod in these efforts, I'd let a beginning occur. I absolutely couldn't allow that. Use any amount of time you need to. Mustn't spare any effort to utterly erase him. Glanced at my wristwatch. It was a little past 6. This is probably all I was going to get done here for today. I really wanted to dig the hole in advance tonight, even if it got dark out, but Mom would be really upset if I stayed out that late. Wouldn't be good to come off as suspicious to my parents. I needed to go back home and give Miana a call soon. I needed to get her to promise Satoko to take her tonight. Take her about tonight. And after that, today would be done. Done. Would it be, though? Was this really everything I could do to prepare right now? I decided where to kill him. I decided how to kill him. I decided, of course, how to dispose of the body. But I didn't decide on a time. But I would play that by ear. I didn't have a way to decide that. Is that really all? Was this really alright? Have I overlooked anything? Will this really go how I planned? After all this, the worries started to well up one after another. It was only natural I'd be anxious. This would be the first and last big job of my lifetime. I could not allow failure, and I had no experience as this was my first time. I didn't have the know-how, the knack, so it was only natural that I'd be anxious. The dark clouds of unease told me doing nothing would be the easiest way. A truly pathetic suggestion this late in the game. Have you forgotten how miserable Satoko looked? From the outside, it might have looked like I was resolute, but deep in my heart, my knees were shaking loudly. I never actually won a single fight to my satisfaction. Could I really kill someone? I may have been planning an ambush, but my enemy was large and far older than me. He had a scary face and looked like he was well accustomed to fighting. Could I have... All the pieces before and after the murder were perfectly planned. But the actual murder, that was the most important part. The most important part unsettled me the most. All my preparations, all of my perfectly concealed machinations, if I didn't successfully murder him, they amounted to nothing. Damn it. After coming this far, you're pathetic, Keiichi Maebara. If you start to have these kinds of second thoughts, your ulterior motive will be obvious. Let's go home. Go home and calm your mind. Tomorrow will be a juncture in your life, the likes of which graduation, employment, marriage, and childbirth couldn't hold a candle to. A day of murder. To kill someone. For someone else's sake. That day behind us, we would take it back again. Those mild, spring-like days we never thought would stop. Those safe, peaceful, fun times. I pedaled my bicycle hard to get back home. Felt somehow unsteady. Like my body and soul weren't in alignment. Shift between where the tips of my hands and feet were and where I felt them to be. My vision was a little distant and narrow, as if the great barrier I risked my future life on had nothing to do with me. An unreal sensation. How could I put it? Everything was so far away. Fine. Feel your unease permeate you, Keiichi Maebara. If that'll turn your timidity into meticulousness and allow you to act with greater caution, then it's actually an important emotion to feel. The feeling I had never went away that night. It was the first time I'd be calling Neon's house. I searched for her in the phone book the school gave me and then dialed the short phone number. the kind unique to remote places. It was around dinner time. He would probably be home. But just as I started to think nobody would respond, someone finally picked up the receiver.
はい、その時です。
あ、夜分遅くにすみません。ミオンか？
どちら様です？
俺だよ、ケイジだ。
ああ、ケイちゃんか。何こんな時間に。
She seemed to be in a weirdly good mood, and she drew her syllables out. Right, it's the night before tomorrow's festival, so she's probably with her family having some drinks.
悪いな、こんな時間に。
Sorry for the late
今、
call.
時間は。
何？
サトコのことなんだけど。
Heard her draw a small breath on the other end.
サトコ、大丈夫かな？
The scent of sake had completely disappeared from her voice.
大丈夫なわけないだろ。お前も見ただろ。あれ。
She was completely worn out from all the abuse. We failed her all this time, and now she's become like that. We didn't fail her.
助けようとして必死に考えてたよ。
でも結局何も思いつかなかったし、結局あんなになるまで。
そうだね。私は結局。
だからさ、せめて一夜くらい遊ばせてやろうじゃないか。
遊ばせる？
あいつもいろいろと参って。だからさ、明日の綿流しのお祭りにあいつ。
それは構わないけど、どうして？
どうしてって、せめて祭りの夜くらい息抜きさせてやりたいじゃないか。たとえ一夜でもあの意地悪なおじの元から離れられるなら。だ
からどうして？
どうしてって何がだよ。
She's a demon, she knows.
どうして？ケイちゃんが連れて行ってあげないの？私に頼まなきゃならないの？
She really doesn't want. She knows. She knows that's what I'm doing. Because they're demons. They know. Mian was persistent about odd things. No. It'd be better to say that she was sharp.
俺実は祭りには行けない。だからサトコ。
用事？
大した用事じゃないんだ。多分すぐに片付くと思うけど。なあ、ミオン。
She knows.
明日の夜だけサトコを
She
頼めないか。
definitely knows. That's funny. Mian took a long time to give her a reply. Got the feeling that Mian had been acting a little weird for a while now. She was flustered by emotions or something.
いや。
With sob, Mian? Are you crying?
私なんかに押し付けられても困るって。
別に押し付けるつもりな。明日の夜だけでいいんだ。
嘘だったじゃない。
What?
綿流しの夜だけって言って結局ずっとだった。嘘つき。でもおあいこかな。私全然あの子はずっとほったらかしだしね。
Okay. 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 I was confused at first. I think I'm caught up.
あれからずっと帰ってこないのに、あの子のことをもう一度押し付けるためだけに。本当にねえ、あなたサトシ君なんでしょう。
ミオン、さっきから何の話だ？
なんでもないの。ちょっとケイちゃんの今の電話にそっくりな電話を。
それ、ひょっとして、サトシか？
ちょっと私寝ぼけてるみたい。変なとこで感情的に。ごめんね。焦ったでしょ。
Okay. Sure. All right. I'm gathering information as they're doing stuff. I had no idea how it happened, but I was pretty sure that last year on this very day, Satoshi had called me on, told her to bring Satoko to the festival. When she asked why he needed her to do it, he replied the same way I just did.
サトシ、祭りに。
うん。用事があるから自分は行けん。代わりに私にサトコを祭りに連れ。
その時、サトシも言ったんだな。サトコを頼むって。
うん。言ったよ。明日の夜だけ頼むってね。ケイちゃんの言い方があまりにもよく似てたんで、ちょっと思い出して取り乱しちゃった。
I know I'm not reading anymore, and it's weird that he told her it would only be fair for the night of the
そうだ
festival.
サトシはその数日後に消えた。
Whether he ran away or not, Satoshi left abandoning
そう
Satoko.
天候でもなく家出でもなく消えたの。
Exactly the same phone call as me last year. Why would Satoshi make the exact same call? If, in the truest sense, she made exactly the same phone call I am right now, in the incident where their aunt was beaten to death, that's... could it?
サトシ。
何が？
Last year, Satoko had been constantly abused by her uncle's wife, their aunt too. Her aunt abused her the most, and on that night, in the name of Oyashiro-sama's curse, she was taken from this world. I thought about that, everything made perfect sense, didn't it?
去年、サトコのおばが殴り殺されたじゃないか。あれ、サトシってことは考えられないか？
私も実はそれサトシには悪いけど。
A few days later, he disappeared on Satoko's birthday. When I first heard about it, I flew into a rage. What a cruel day to have run away on, but now that I thought about it more like this, the story changed completely. Satoshi had probably been even less calm than I was right now. He was your big brother related by blood, watching his little sister abused day in and day out. Maybe that's why he couldn't keep calm. And that was why the corpse of their aunt, beaten to death, was so easily discovered. Satoshi lost himself in anger that he hadn't hidden the corpse. He permitted a beginning to occur. The police had conducted a full-blown investigation. It was easy to imagine they wouldn't take long to pin down Satoshi as the culprit. Satoshi wished for a return to peaceful days with Satoko, although he archived it for a time. Or achieved it for a time archived. He had been steadily driven into a corner, and then he wanted to at least hold out until Satoko's birthday, but finally they nailed him. At the time, Satoshi had been carrying all the savings he'd amassed to buy Satoko a giant stuffed animal for a birthday present. He would buy the stuffed animal for her as a gift and then get caught. Or he could use the money to disappear. That was the choice he had been forced to make. He decided to not make Satoko the sister of a murderer. If that was the case, then it must have been just an unspeakably bitter decision. All the money he'd saved wanting to see Satoko happy, he had to use it to make her sad. And all the savings, he'd disappeared to Tokyo if the rumors were true.
サトシは
それは大石なんかはそう思ってるみたいだけどね。
Uishi, had he slowly been driven into a corner by that repulsive man's pig-headed pursuit?
確かに状況証拠は揃ってるけど、多分県内のどっかで捕まったろくでなしが犯行を自供したっていうし。
But the deviant had confessed and the incident was solved.
そいつは本当にただの異常者で、 ひなみ沢とは何の縁もちろんサトシとも何のだからそんな奴がサトシの身代わりになって嘘をついてくれたなんて到底思えないし。
You never know how, where, or how humans are tied together. That guy took the blame, then it was the perfect crime. Of course, it would have, if it was really the perfect crime, there would have been no reason for Satoshi to vanish.
それにサトシには逃亡資金なんてサトシが預金を下ろした日、これは誰に言っても信じてくれ。サトコのために買うと言ってたぬいぐるみが売れてショーケースからなくきっとサト
ちょっと待って、逃走資金に使わないで。ぬいぐるみを買うためにぬいぐるみを買って、そ
だからまとまったお金があるならともかくお金もなく逃亡生活ができる。
I didn't get it. After all that, I was understanding Satoshi less and less. The two of us fell silent. I couldn't remember how we even got on this topic.
どこで話が出すサトコの件ね、実はもうちゃんと
本当かよ。
祭りの準備でみんなで神社に行った時さ、それで集会所の電話でおじのやつよそよそしくて勝手にしろみたいな感じ。明日みんなで待ち合わせしていくことになっ安心したサトシ。
バカ、俺はサトシじゃないって。
It was a little relief. I hadn't needed to make the phone call. Satoko had already been invited to the festival, but not in a way that smelled of blood, a way to leave her uncle alone, create time for me to kill him. They surely wanted Satoko to enjoy herself, so they invited her. In the end, it was the same, but I was happy for the slight difference.
すまないな、俺が電話をするまでもなかった。昨日にしろ今日にしろ変な忘れてくれ。
こっちこそ本当誰にもなく取り乱しちゃって本当にごめん。
We apologized to each other for
じ
a
ゃあ
little
俺
bit.
はこれで失礼するな。おやすみ。
何の用事？
As if interrupting our parting words, Mion struck straight where it hurt.
それもまたサトシと同じように。
バカ。だから俺は。
そんなのは分かってるよ。
I deflected her with a response that wasn't really an answer. Mion didn't have me anymore
じ
after
ゃあ
that.
今度こそ。
どうしてケイちゃんがサトシ君と全くなんでもない。ごめんね。
切るぞ。
Satoshi Yojo, just who are you? I scorned you as a coward who ran away, abandoning his sister. I always thought you didn't have the right to call yourself her Nini. Now I didn't know what to think. Okay. Everything makes sense. Have I unlocked the code? Maybe. I think I have. I think I've unlocked everything with this chapter. We'll see how this chapter ends. I'm not going to say anything until the chapter's done, I think. Because I think I've just solved the whole mystery. There might be one or two things that I don't have. But I think I've figured it out. It was this little thing that I needed. It overlaps with a bunch of stuff. It makes sense with a whole bunch of things. It would explain a lot of things. It would also, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I don't want to say anything there because, like I said, this game, it could just throw me a piece of information and then that throws that wrench in everything, you know. So I don't want to say anything just yet. 30% is probably true than Satoshi had accomplished. It's the extent at which we overlapped. More calmer than Satoshi, more calculating. I could actually grow calmer the more enthusiastic I became. That's why I wouldn't follow in Satoshi's footsteps. I would snip him cleanly out of the world and then get our peaceful life back. Maybe Satoshi had been with me ever since I chose to use Satoshi's bat as my weapon. No, maybe even longer than that. When I decided to be her Nini, maybe Satoshi had been residing within me then too. Satoshi, are you really a coward? Or are you a true Nini even now, the kind worthy of Satoko's love? I'd never met him, never spoken to him. Didn't even know his face, but I felt so connected to him. Never felt that way before. That's the end of the chapter. Did we end it here? Do you guys like the shorter episodes? Do you guys like the longer episodes? Because we could end it here. Let's read the tip. Let's read the tip. I'm gonna read the tip. What's the tip say? For the attention of those caught in the... Here we go. July 1982. Okinomiya Police Station First Investigative Division. Chief Akasugi. Prefecture Police Headquarters for the eradication of drug-related crime. Shishibone Branch Head blank blank. Regarding the incident designated as undercover investigation. Okay. This message is to inform you that a section of the testimony records of an incident under this police headquarters jurisdiction has been found that is thought to be related to the undercover investigation of Okinomiya Police Station ex-housewife slaughter incident. Okay. During investigation of subject blank, who was arrested for possession of illegal drugs, there was a testimony related to the crime in question, and as part of it, we learned that the criminal had information only he could have known. Therefore, the record of the testimony, duplicate attached, will be provided to you. If this testimonial is to be believed, then there is an extremely high chance that the subject blank was the culprit behind the incident in question. In addition, the head investigator on the case received this report and inquired as to the incident with Okinomiya Police Station, but the responsible party, Okinomiya Station, who responded to designate an undercover investigation announced by the Prefectural Police's General Dictator born July 1st, 1982, Osamu Fukusane Ken misunderstood. Wow. Thank you, game, for the wall of text. I did not explain the incident's existence to the head investigator on the case properly. Because of this, the case's head investigator was not aware of the importance of the testimony as it was related to the case in question, and as a result was negligent when combining the scene. We apologize for having left it into the dark. Yeah. He died in confinement. So, there's a lot of stuff that I think that I'm going to say for the end. I think what's clear. I think what's kind of clear. I said clear like it was like definitely what's happening. I think what's kind of clear is that Keiichi is not of the right mind right now. And we got to let Keiichi calm down a little bit. I think Keiichi will go through with the murder. Probably beat him to death. And I think this isn't going to go well. I don't think this is going to go well for Keiichi. Satoshi is maybe a bigger pawn in this story than I might have thought before. I don't know if it's just for this chapter, but it would make sense if he was a bigger pawn for the entire story. And that's where this is headed. If I am correct, and Satoshi is a bigger piece in this whole story, then and we get that information that he is bigger than we think he is, because he's kind of been the side character. He's been Satoshi. He's been kind of shrouded in mystery. But pretty much every time we've acted like him. We've acted like Satoshi. We've done these things like Satoshi. We've done this and this. So. I'm not gonna say anything. I don't know. I'll explain it if it continues. If in the next episode or two, it continues, I continue to have the same feeling, I will talk about it in depth for like a good 10 minutes, I'm sure. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and end the episode. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. If you guys enjoy shorter episodes, like you want me to start making them 30 minutes instead of an hour, let me know. I think they're easier for me to record, but then there's less of the story that we get through, obviously. I don't know. And it might take us a while to get through if we just do 30-minute episodes. We might have to do like way more episodes. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what you guys say. Let me know what you guys are thinking about what I'm saying. I think that my theory that I have in my head right now is that Satoshi is a huge part of this entire thing now. And that I don't want to say anything. Because this game hits me right hook after right hook after right hook, sending me in different directions all the time. And I always, the episode before that hook happens, I'm always like, this is definitely what's happening. And then they send me a right hook in another direction. So I'm going to wait for a couple episodes this time and then go over my theory after that. Peace out, you guys. Leave a like if you liked it and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Peace out, you guys.